Hey guys, it's Brianna Maddox here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my April wrap up. I am so excited that I finally get to do a wrap up for you guys. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I read 21 books in the month of April, which when I sat down to look at my stats for the month, I was actually kind of surprised because I feel like this month went by so quickly. I felt like I didn't read a whole lot because my mind was just all over the place and could not concentrate for the life of me. So I'm actually surprised that I got to 21 books, but either way, that's amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the amazing books that I read this month. Some of them I've already talked about in my reading vlogs for the month of April, which was so much fun. I look forward to seeing what May is going to bring and the rest of the summer. I am just, y'all, I am so excited. You know, we gotta have some positivity, you know, with everything going on. Let's go ahead and talk about every single book I read. For a lot of these books, I actually don't own them physically, so I'm just going to put a little picture on the screen. But my very first book of the month that I read was Jigsaw by Lily Atlas. This is book 3 in the Hell's Handlers MC series. This series is so good. I adore Lily Atlas, which I will make probably a separate video, probably closer to this, but I am so excited. Lily Atlas is one of those authors that I adore. I work a lot with her, you know, with Queens of MC and such, and she had the amazing idea to come up with a book signing to do virtually, which is so cool, and she reached out to me to see if I would want to help. So we're gonna host in June a virtual book signing for Queens of MC and Queens of Mafia. So any MC author, Mafia author who wants to participate, we're gonna have a virtual signing in the Facebook groups, and I am so excited, y'all. I can't. So if you guys want to hear more about that, let me know down in the comments, and maybe I'll make like a, you know, a video when we get closer about how the event's gonna work, all the participating authors and such. But yeah, so I'm super excited about that. But anyway, let's get back to Jigsaw. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. Loved it. I pulled it from the Audible Escape program. I do utilize it quite a bit. But yeah, I think every single one of her books is actually on the program. I think at this point I am almost caught up. I need to get caught up on this specific series. But I adore her work. I don't feel that her books are super dark, so if you're kind of new to the MC genre, I definitely think she's one of them that you can start out with. I don't think that they're, you know, too dark. The next book that I read is Seducing the Bad Man by Haley Feynman. This is book 2 in the Russian Bratva series. This is also, well, not also, it's also a dark romance, but it's a mafia series. It is so good, y'all. I think it was the April book of the month for Queens of MC that we read book 1. I absolutely loved it, so I was really excited to continue this series, but as I mentioned in my last video, I am horrible at continuing series. This is a very long series actually. I think it's currently 11 books long, so, but they're really good. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 out of 5, or 4.5 stars. Really good. Next up, I actually read 3 books, so I will put them all on the side right here, but it's a trilogy. It's historical romance. The first book is called The Wicked Wallflower by Maya Rodale, and then book 2 is The Wallflower Gone Wild, and then book 3 is What a Wallflower Wants. These books were so good. Oh my goodness, I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't stop listening. I actually listened to all 3 of these on Hoopla. They were amazing. I am so excited to read more by Maya Rodale. Her writing was just very quirky and very humorous, which I really enjoyed. I really had a good time with all these characters in these books. It does follow a different couple for each book, but yeah, they were so good. I gave each book 5 stars. So excited to read more by this author. Next up, I read Promised by Elizabeth Knox. Okay, so I take that back. This was actually our April book of the month for Queens of Mafia. So the first book for Haley Feynman was actually March. I can't keep up with my days anymore. But anyway, Promised by Elizabeth Knox. This is the first book in the Clan series. This is also an ongoing series that I think it's the first 4 books she wrote by herself, and then she had one of her really good author friends, Iris Sweetwater, come and co-write with her. So it is currently an ongoing series, which is amazing. I really enjoyed this. I really do look forward to continuing because it's a very interesting world of mafia that they have different clans, so I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next. But I did give this book y'all, I can't today. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Loved it. Next up, I read another historical romance. I read A Night to Surrender by Tessa Dare. This is the first book in the Spindle Co series. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Super cute. I absolutely loved it. I can still remember a couple scenes in my head that just made me smile. Seriously. And I also read this from Hoopla. Y'all, I don't know what it is about historical romance, especially when you do audiobooks, but it is seriously like watching a TV show in your mind, which I think is the coolest experience ever. I don't know why, but for some reason, I guess just the way that the stories are told, that it literally feels like a TV show in my mind. Let me know in the comments if I'm not the only one that feels that way. Maybe it's just, I don't know, but it's just a really cool experience. Up, I read Lessons from a One Night Stand by Piper Rain. This is the first book in the Bailey series. This does follow the whole entire Bailey's gang. I think, if I remember correctly, there's 7 of them. I could be mistaken, but I did read this off of Hoopla. I think it was Hoopla. Really enjoyed this book. I have been meaning to read Piper Rain's work. It's actually a duo. I've been meaning to read their work for so long now, and I just needed to just start one of their books because it was about time. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Cannot wait to continue the series. I'll probably continue with the audiobooks because the audiobooks are just so much fun. So I look forward to continuing the series. That I read is Wicked Sexy Liar by Christina Lauren. This is book 4 in the Wild Seasons series, and this is a series that I started so long ago. I want to say like 2014 or 2015, around that time. So it is definitely a very big accomplishment that I finished this series. It's definitely a very good feeling to cross off a book series off of your list. But I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's such a good book. Next up, I read Perky by Julia Kent. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was also a really good book. This is the second book in a series. I don't know exactly what the name of the book is, but I will put book 1. Book 1 is Fluffy. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. The audiobook just makes it even better. I think I did this from the Audible Escape program, so you can listen to them, but it does follow 3 best friends and their journey and what they bring to the table with their friendship. I really do hope to get to book 3, which off the top of my head I can't remember what book 3 is, but I'll put it, you know, somewhere here on the video for you guys. But this is just a really fun series. I really enjoyed it. I am so excited about this book. This is the book that I did talk about, not in my last vlog, but the one before it. That was kind of like my little secret book. But this is actually my favorite book of the month of April, and it is A New Page by Zara Telig. You can probably see book 1 in the corner. It's Consumed by Rage. This book was so good. Guys, I can't. I adore Zara Telig. She's one of the authors that I'm so privileged to get to work with all the time. I adore her. I love this book. What I love most about this is it's such a unique MC series. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's just very unique. It sticks out among, you know, all the other MC series. What I found most interesting is the heroine in book 1 is named Juliet, and she runs like this, what is it called? Like a yoga studio with the, what is it called? Where they do like the aerial stuff. What is that called? And she was just kind of like this, you know, free-spirited character that just made me so happy. And then you have her sister, Paige, who is in this book. And she's one of those characters. Honestly, I can see the potential for people not caring for her, you know, character because she's, you know, very high strung. But you know what? That was actually what I really enjoyed. I really loved getting to see her character growth and see everything that she went through to become the woman that she is today, and to see her overcome all those obstacles that she has been dealing with her entire life. easily a 6-star read for me. So for me, I do base it off a 5-star rating system. So when I say 6-star ratings, that means it's a favorite of mine for the month, but in general it becomes on my favorite list for the year. So I am so excited to say that book 2 in the Stained Souls MC is on my 2020 favorites list of the year. So excited. So next up, I read, this is when my mindset was moving towards like dystopian books all of a sudden. Don't know what happened. Squirrel moment. But if you hear, you know, ice cream music, there's an ice cream truck going around that is now passing my house. What? Sorry, y'all. Okay, squirrel moment. Anyway, so I was really getting into dystopian, and I think that's kind of what kicked off my YA obsession all of a sudden. But I was really craving a YA book. For some reason, just specifically dystopian. I think it's because of everything going on that I was like, you know what, give me what, you know, something that we're dealing with. I don't know. So I spent 2 hours one day just scrolling through Scribd, Hoopla, Audible Escape, all those different, you know, audiobook programs to try and find a good... I was looking for like a YA dystopian because I truly do miss the young adult genre. And I was really trying to find Scythe by Neil Shusterman because I have been recommended that book so many times and I've really been dying to read it, and I heard the audiobooks are amazing, but sadly I couldn't find it, which was so sad, without paying full price for the audiobook, which at some point I'm probably going to end up caving and getting anyway. I did totally forget about this really awesome trilogy. First book is Praying for Rain by B.B. Easton. This is a dystopian, like post-apocalyptic, I guess kind of like a new adult romance. This was good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I am so excited to see where this series goes next. I think book 3, the audiobook, is actually coming out like really soon if it's not already out. So I'm excited to be able to get to binge 2 and 3 so I can finish it. It's so good. It's so interesting to see, kind of like in the romance genre, to have post-apocalyptic and where this series is gonna go. It's very interesting. I read Unleashed by J.L. Drake. This is the 3rd book in the Devil's Reach MC series. I loved it. Oh my gosh. This series is so good. But unfortunately, being the goofball that I am, I started the series back in 2019, binged the first 2, and that was at the beginning of the year. It did leave on a major cliffhanger, which it's been a year since I've read the 2nd book, so I kind of forgot a lot, which was my mistake. I should have gone back and reread the first 2 books, which hindered me from really experiencing this. I did do the audiobook of it. It was amazing. I still gave it 5 stars, but truly this series is so good. It's definitely dark. I really do. This is a series that I will for sure reread because I adore J.L. Drake. She's one of my favorite authors. But someday I do want to go back and binge all 3 books. Probably the audio because the audio is awesome. But yeah, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good, but definitely recommend not doing what I did and wait a year to read the final book. Binge all 3 all at once because it's definitely binge worthy. It's so good. I got to read an arc of this book and it was so good. I got to read Reckless Memories by Catherine Cowles. Alright guys, this is take 3. My camera battery died yet again, so I'm gonna try and go even quicker. I have seriously no patience. But anyway, let's just get to it. So I was in the middle of talking about Reckless Memories by Catherine Cowles. This was absolutely amazing. This is her most recent release. It is now, actually it's not available yet. It actually comes out, I think it's May 14th, so it is coming out super soon. But I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. If you're a fan of Daphne Perry, definitely check out Catherine Cowles. Her books are awesome. Next up, I read Lethal by Cassandra Robbins. This was the Queens of MC book of the month for April. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. This was an amazing book. This is the first book in the Disciple series. I loved it. Next up, I read A Kiss at Midnight by Eloisa James. This, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might have been my actual first book by her. Maybe I've read another one, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. This is actually, so I got into historical romance last summer, I think. And so when I was, you know, looking for some paperbacks, this was actually one of the first books that I picked out. So I'm excited to have finally read it. This is the first book in the fairy tales series. So this is a series that are based off of kind of like the fairy tales. So this one is specifically a Cinderella retelling. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I think what kept me from enjoying it so much because I wasn't sure how much it would be based off of Cinderella. I feel like it was definitely, these are more of like a loose retelling of them, so I was expecting a little bit more of Cinderella because I'm such a Disney nerd. It was such a cute book. I really am excited about continuing the series. I think book 2 is Beauty and the Beast, so I'm looking forward to that one. I did this on Hoopla. It was awesome. Loved it. Okay. So this is where it gets fun. Next up, I read Red Queen, and actually I'm going to put it on the screen, but I read Glass Sword, which is book 2, but this is by Victoria Aveyard. This is a YA fantasy series, and oh my god, guys. This is so good. So I did borrow it from my local library that uses Libby. I actually was surprised that I got the first 2 books so quickly, which I was like, okay, we're rolling with it. And actually today I got the notification that book 3 is ready for me, so I'm living for this. This is such a good series. I don't know what else to say. I'm loving it, plus I'm trying to go as fast as I can before my battery dies again. But yeah, this is a really good series. If you have not checked it out, love it. Because I was on, you know, my little kick with it and I was rolling with it. I got to read my arc that I got months ago from Penguin Teen, and I'm sorry, but life has been hectic, you know, this past school year. It's just been nuts. Anyway, beside the point. This is The Queen's Assassin by Melissa de la Cruz. Melissa de la Cruz is one of those authors that I read back during, you know, the whole hype with Twilight and such. I actually read her, I think it's called the Blue Blood series. Loved the books. She's one of my like OG favorite authors, but she does have the Descendants series, which if you know anything about Disney, you know about Descendants. It's basically just a world that all the offspring of the Disney villains, you know, grow up on this island that has no magic. But Melissa de la Cruz got the opportunity with Disney to make a book series about it. So basically each book kind of follows after each movie. It's really fun. Honestly, I'm getting giddy just talking about it. I'm seriously a child at heart, y'all. I can't. But they were so good. I can't. Anyway, about this book, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This is going to be a duet. I think book 2 comes out later this year. I can't remember when, but I'm excited to see this wrap up, and I'm also very nervous because it's only one more book, but it's really good. I already talked about it in my wrap up, but I read I Was Born Ruined by C.M. Stunnage. I gave this, unfortunately, 2 stars. It wasn't my cup of tea. I talk a little bit more about it in my vlog and everything, so you can hear my thoughts about that, but it didn't hit the mark with me, which is really sad, to be honest. But you know, not everybody's gonna like the same books, and that's totally fine. For me, it just wasn't my cup of tea. My last book that I read was Not the Girl You Marry by Andy J. Christopher. Also talked about it in my vlog. This was such a cute book. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Loved it. Cannot wait to read more by this author. It made me smile. So guys, those are all 21 books that I read in April. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Come tell me down in the comments what your favorite read of April was. I definitely love looking for new books to check out, so definitely let me know down in the comments what your favorite book of April was, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.